recording, so if that makes you nervous, I recommend that this is a great time for you to sign off. And we would like to welcome today's speaker, Mr. Jeffrey Kaplan, who is also available on LinkedIn. If you would like to send him a request, I suggest you do that. Jeff is coming to us to talk to us a little bit about JustKibbitz, which I'm very interested in. It's a very unique business plan. And he attended the University of Florida and also is director of Venture Asheville in North Carolina. JustKibbitz is the only Jewish dating site that lets you be the yenta you were born to be. This is where moms do the matchmaking. They arrange the date, they pick up the check, and all the daters have to do is show up. So if you don't have enough involvement of your mom in your life, then Jeff's the guy you need to call. Jeff, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. That was a great introduction. For those of you West Coasters who don't know what this is the international Go Gators. You make like a gator's mouth, and this is called the chomp. If you haven't seen that before, you're welcome. All right, I'm gonna pull up my slides. And you should see a bright orange screen with my logo on it. Is that right?
Yes, we have you. Yep.
Okay. And let me quick shout out to everyone in Santa Barbara, everyone at Fig Mountain Brewing, Santa Barbara Shellfish Company. Y'all hold a tender spot in my heart. Ended up at Fig Mountain Brewing on Halloween one year, and that was a real experience. So thank you, Santa Barbara. All right, this is JustKibbitz. Let's get started. Hey everybody, my name is Jeff Kaplan, CEO and founder of JustKibbitz.com. This is a dating site inspired by my mom. All my mom wants is for my little brother to marry a nice Jewish girl. So much so, she created a fake J-Date profile of my little brother. You know what J-Date is? It's like Match.com, but for Jews. So there she is. She's online matching and messaging with eligible bachelorettes as my little brother trying to find him a date. And spoiler alert, it really didn't end well. So while the method was wrong, the intention was awfully sweet, that a parent wants to help their kids find a great date. And when you look at the current state of dating in our online landscape, it's kind of a train wreck. So less than 1 in 5 matches ever becomes a date. So to compensate for this, with the proliferation of dating sites, the average user is using 4 dating apps simultaneously. What this does is it creates, it throws supply and demand completely out of whack. It leads to some of the worst parts of the internet with abuse and misogyny and anonymity and harassment. Let me tell you how bad it is. Over 60% of women are sent unsolicited nude photos on these sites. The industry term for this is dick pics. And 3/4 of all users have had to block another user for rude or insulting behavior. What is going on? We're seeing, if you've seen any pitches of other womanly cups about dating sites, you're seeing the same kind of things over and over again. You're seeing niche or Tinder derivations of Tinder for things you hate, Tinder for this, and Tinder for that. You're seeing safety or anti-misogyny features. Tinder just rolled out a panic button. If your date is going so bad, this has happened so frequently, they create a panic button on their app. You're seeing lots of issues with identity verification. So the league has you log into LinkedIn, and a lot of push to get people to finally meet in real life. Stop swiping, stop looking at people making snap judgments. We want people to get out and meet again. We feel that the oldest form of dating, how people met through friends and family, is missing from the current online dating landscape. And inspired by my mom, that is what we hope to bring back with JustKibbitz. It's a new kind of dating site that helps someone you love find someone they'll love. That's what JustKibbitz is. And we're starting with Jewish moms. Why? Everyone asks why. Because if I don't get my mom off my brother's back, he's gonna kill me. Any fans of Catskill style humor? All right, moving on. Because any kind of new, thank you, Ahmad, any kind of new entrant into the dating world, especially in something such a red ocean and competitive as dating sites, you gotta go after a niche. And this is a blue ocean because we're not actually targeting the end user of the dater. We're targeting people who really care about that end user and would do anything for them. And it's a demographic, a psychographic we know really well. I have a long working experience in Jewish organizations. And when you start breaking down this Facebook targeting, we can get so targeted down to the exact zip codes of high Jewish density and the highest levels of income, knowing those moms want to spend money. We ask millennials about JustKibbitz. Here's what they say. I'm just going to go to one quote. Because moms are involved, you know he's going to be respectful, because if not, it'll get back to his mom. So in our current state, where there's also misogyny, dick pics, and harassment, we've brokered a new paradigm in accountability, introducing the world's oldest form, disappointing your parents. Here's how it works. You simply create a profile for yourself as the mom and your dater. You can then sort and look at other daters near your kid. So you might live in Santa Barbara, your kid's in the Bay Area, you can find a date for them up there, but you talk to the mom, you don't talk to the other kid. If the moms and the parents or the people who are caring for these people, if they get along and think their kids would get along, they can prepay for the date on our platform and send the kids out on a date. The hard part of dating is done for you. The hard part of dating is getting the date. Once you get the date, you're just supposed to show up and be yourself. Or even picking out where you go or picking up the tab. That's so important for our making a moat around our business, because remember, right now, less than 1 in 5 matches ever becomes a date. We ask single millennials, we've asked over 100 single millennials, would you go on a date set up by your mom? And only 50% of the time do they say yes. And then we say, hey, what if that date was prepaid? And they say yes 92% of the time. It's unbelievable. It's even crazier. We're patenting this. We just filed a provisional patent, and it's titled System of Performance Verification and Identity Validity, something crazy. But the gift card only works when those two people are together through some kind of interaction, whether they bump their phones together, rub them together, you answer quiz questions about the other person, or even throwing in the icebreaker. You just got to show up for your date. The business model is really straightforward. It's similar to other dating sites with 2 other potential revenue streams. The first is typical $29 a month or $299 for the year, which is an adjacent pricing model. Again, new market. No one's ever done this kind of secondary dating piece before. So we're pricing it right between any other niche dating site, which ranges between $19 and $49 a month. We chose $29 a month. Allows us to do all kinds of incentives and referrals and affiliates to bring that price down. We also get a transaction fee on all the gift cards purchased through the site to send the kids on the dates. And it's just so clear that in the future, we can have some corporate sponsorships for featured dates. Here's a team. My day job is at Venture Asheville. We're the economic development group in our area, specifically for startups. Before this, I created and sold an app called Dog Friendly. It was an app that found your location and showed you every dog-friendly thing near you. I have a master's degree in entrepreneurship from the University of Florida. My co-founder is Mike Ovies. He's out in Denver. He's a global software consultant and back-end engineer. And Hannah is on the call. She was my ops manager at Venture Asheville, and so we brought her over here to be our COO. We have 2 advisors. The first is Randy Ziffer. She's a PR, marketing, advertising person, came from Home Depot, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and Atlanta Sentinel. And she is our target market of a Jewish mom. And our other one is Theed Loader. We're so excited about Theed. We met Theed through our video company out in Raleigh. And he was the 12th employee at Match.com, and he literally wrote the algorithm and billing system for Match. And he's got 20 years of C-level tech startup experience. So that's us. We are JustKibbitz.com. We are on a mission to help someone you love find someone they'll love. And in the spirit of 1 million cups, there's 2 things you can do to help us. The first is join or recommend somebody for our Mom Ambassador program. We're giving moms free memberships if they will help promote what we ever send them about links, articles, posts about JustKibbitz, and funding introductions. We're 200K shy of our seed round, and so we have a little more funding, another hurdle to cross. And that's us. I'm Jeff. Thanks again for your time, and I'm excited to take on the Q&A.
Yay, thanks. I love the idea of the Mom Ambassador program. That's pretty funny. All right. Hello? Did y'all sign off on me?
Tara, you're going in and out.
Hello? Do y'all have questions this morning? Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Going in and out.
Yeah, hey Tara, we can hear you.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're asking, who has questions for Jeff this morning?
So Jeff, I am curious about something. So two mothers meet on your dating site, yes? So how can you contact the other mother? Because you see only the girls. Let's say I have a boy. How
So
do
you
you do
see,
that?
you see both. You see the mom's profile and the kid's profile.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you search, it's interesting. So let's say, Nicole, let's say I'm in North Carolina, you're in California, and our kids live in Austin, Texas. So it doesn't matter where you or I live. It matters where our kids live because they're the ones who want the date. So when you search on the platform, you're searching based on the address and zip codes of our daters. So the moms, you see the kid's profile and the mom's profile. You then message with the mom and discuss if your kids would get along.
So each kid has his mom there also. So you search for the kid and you see his mom.
Yep.
So you contact the mom first.
Yeah, and do you know how many couples fight about their in-laws? I think it's like 100%. Now just imagine if the in-laws get along first, then introduce their kids, right? That's kind of one of the side benefits here too, is you get to choose. So the moms like it because they love the idea of choosing their in-laws. Not that we're all about marriage, but it's about finding a date.
This is excellent idea. Congratulations.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much.
Well, top of the top brain. I like the idea. Very smart, very, very wise.
Thank you. You sound like my mom.
Nicole,
She
we've
loves
never
it too.
You're good.
Do you have children, Nicole?
Yes, I have two boys, yeah.
Great.
You have another customer.
I love the idea, you know, two mothers talking about their children. I think it's a big help. And maybe it's like almost 60% okay of the relationship. Almost. More than 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a respect in the meeting. When you meet someone and the two mothers talk, there is first a big respect just to get started.
Mm-hmm. Right, there's no better endorsement either. So when your mom introduces you to somebody, you've already passed that test. So you think about the first time any of us introduce our boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever we're dating to our parents, it's like, that's a high bar, right? Oh, you're finally gonna meet my parents. And there's a lot of stress around that too. But if you already get the sign off from the parents, suddenly it becomes a low stakes meeting.
What idea?
It's a lot of fun.
Great idea.
Thank you.
I'm going to talk about you everywhere because I love the idea.
Please do.
Love the idea, you know. It's just something completely different, original, and very
and if you're not Jewish, that's fine. You know, our go-to-market is to continue going after other verticals. And so from a technology side, it's super scalable product, right? Because the back end never changes. Our database doesn't have to, because every time we have a new community roll on, whether it's going to be Korean moms or Indian moms or Hispanic moms, you're only going to see who you put in the search parameters to see. So in the database, we have everybody in one database. Doesn't matter because you're only seeing who you choose to see. So I talked to a guy this week who wants to do this in the Mormon community, which I'm so excited about. You know, lots of kids, lots of dates, lots of marriages. I feel like that's a big community for us too, the evangelical and Mormon community. So we're thinking about how do we want to grow? Do we want to have everybody on JustKibbitz, or do we want to keep white labeling it and have different brands for every community we go into? I think there's a cost benefit there between you know, what it is to go to market and retarget every community. But the loss there is kibbitz is a Yiddish word for chit chat. So is everyone going to resonate with that, right?
Yeah, I don't see any reason to change the name of the business Evolve, because there are a lot of businesses out there that I think people would be surprised about the origins of the name of the organization. So to be frank with you, I had never heard the word JustKibbitz, and it didn't really. I'm sure maybe it does with a lot of other people, but it didn't really resonate with me. I mean, but mom, that definitely resonates with me as a mom.
And I mean, like, a good example of that is Bumble or Zeusk, right? Bumble was bought for $3 billion. Zeusk was bought for what, $250 million or more. Yeah, what is Zeusk? Who does that belong to? It's just, you know.
So kibbutz, you want to say kibbutz or you wanted to say kibbutz? You want to say
Kibbitz, because kibbutz,
think
if you
about
all don't know
kibbutz.
about the early days of modern Israel, was the movement to create these very socialist inspired settlements, agricultural focused settlements. That's a kibbutz. That's a Hebrew word. Yiddish, kibbitz is a Yiddish word. So
But,
it's like
it
kissing
sounds like
cousins.
kibbutz, so people can think about it. Oh, that is a good market research name.
Well, the article about us in the Atlanta Jewish Times wrote us as JustKibbitz.com. And I was like, what a funny startup that would be. Like, here's like your SaaS platform to manage your kibbutz. Totally not what we're doing, but I think there's a new opportunity in that one as well.
And the other thing is, no matter what name you choose, there's always going to be somebody who has a better name for you, and or
Yeah, sure.
not a good enough name. So if it works for you, and this is a great polling place. You can check with everybody else too. This is one of the things we love about Well Man Cup. It's a great opportunity for you to get that feedback from people.
That's right. The original name 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago now, was Oogum, Oogum, after the Oogum Boogum song from like the 1960s. But Oogum was a fun name. Oogum is nondescript and doesn't belong to any group or any people.
Ugam sounds like, I was gonna say, Ugam sounds like what you would say if you really didn't find your date appealing.
Yeah. So we stuck with JustKibbitz. It helps us with our go-to-market significantly. People get it right away.
Yeah, I had a market research company, and 90% of the success of the companies is from the name. Very attractive. When you have an attractive name, it's just help the market go up.
Sure. Makes market adoption easier, right? Yeah.
What's interesting, Jeffrey, is this reminded me of situation in India, which of course is changing a lot, right? But you've got the typical thing is arranged marriage, where you have the parents socializing with other parents and figuring out, and then you view, it's not even like a date. You're just, everybody's evaluating the different candidates from both family sides. And then comes along the internet world, and you've got shadi.com, which is like marriage.com. But it's just interesting because my first business partner from India, he did the combo of things, right? So he went on the internet dating thing like shadi.com, which is less about dating and more about finding a marriage partner, but merging that with what the families were compatible with. It was just an interesting thing that shadi.com is not entirely crossing and it sounds like you're crossing the right, you're mixing in the right things that this would explode in India. That's all I'm trying to say is.
India is very high on our list, whether it's Indian Americans or Indians who want to come to America. I think that was one of Shadi's first value propositions, was for immigrants coming to America to meet somebody. And I'm really impressed that you know about that, because I've done, Hannah can tell you, 10, 12, 1 million cups in the last month or so. And you're the first person to mention Shadi.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been, my main operation is in Calcutta for the last 17 years. So that's why.
We are a small group, but we are knowledgeable. Any other questions for Jeff?
I want to say something to Jeff. Maybe it can help you. Iranian mentality, Iranian people, is the way they do their marriages. First, the parents they have to meet families first, and the kids, they don't even know each other. So when everything is set, now the kids can come at the last minute. But everything is set, money, everything, careers, everything. So it's something you should look at, how you the Iranian, this is a culture. It's still there, it's still all in America, but even in Iran and here also, it's a lot here. It's still, there is I never met an Iranian family that it's not arranged like this. All of them. It's like 1 and 1 is 2. It's the way they think, the way they do, is their community.
Yeah, so that's why we have 2 taglines right now. The first is, be the Yenta you were born to be, as Tara mentioned on the intro. That's very targeted to Jewish moms. Jewish moms associated being with the Yenta, which is a character from Fiddler on the Roof. But a real tagline is help someone you love find someone they'll love, which allows us to open this thing up to every community in the world. Because everyone has that experience, right? I don't care where you're from or how you were brought up. Every mother, every parent, or every sibling wants the best for their kid, parent. We hear from people in their 50s or 60s who, for various reasons, are now single and don't know how to online. They haven't dated in 40 years, and they want their kids to help set them up. Or you hear about people who are in their 40s and newly divorced and miss the whole part of online dating. This is a whole new world for them. They want a friend or a neighbor or a cousin, a sibling to help them out. And that's very intentional. While it's help someone you love find someone they'll love. So the goal eventually is to tell our story one day that, yeah, we started with Jewish moms and now we're for everybody.
When do you launch?
So we're open now to join the wait list. And I was telling folks at the beginning of the call, we opened our wait list. We had our first press on Friday, got 146 subscribers over the weekend, which was awesome for having 2 articles written about us. But we should be live in a couple weeks. We just hired another contractor to help finish our development. And I was in Durham on Monday for a video shoot. We have a promo video coming out with mom talking about the site and her daughter's in the background. It's a lot of dick jokes. So if you like dick jokes, you're gonna love this video. There's a lot of eggplants. It's in the kitchen. They're making baba ganoush together. It's gonna be great. We'll make sure to email that to you all to share it with I'm sure you have a newsletter. If you could say, hey, JustKibbitz pitched a few weeks ago, check out the new video, that'd be great.
And yeah, I really love the idea of evolving over time. I think that any of us who've taken any psychology classes, and one of the things I learned in psychology that I use in actual real life all the time, it was early in taking those classes, was that we evaluate new people in our lives by how people we trust interact with them. So when you've already seen this interaction between people you know and love and have your best interest at heart, your mom, then you can kind of, you like you said, it opens up the conversation a lot more between those two people much quicker because they have that trust factor a little bit built in. And it's also been weeded, like you said, all of those crazy, ridiculous, misogynist things have been already weeded out because mom's not going to let that pass to child. That's not going to wash. So that's another thing too, is it's already been vetted, mom's already cleaned those out. Let's see what else is connected. But yeah, I think it's relevant to a lot of groups, all of them really. All moms would like to have involvement.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I like to, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tara.
I was going to say, about that being said, I don't need a window closed up like that. I like being able to go out and research and find my own guy here. So, all right, well, let's go back to sharing a little bit. So we have a few more things. We have 6 minutes left, so we have plenty of time for more questions about Jeff's business. And, I also noticed, Jeff, that you have additional entrepreneurship experience in addition to JustKibbitz, correct? So
Yes.
This is a great person for you to say, hey, how's that road been? What have been the big ugly things that you stumbled across?
Well, I'll give you the quick version of what Venture Asheville is, if that's all right, because it's really similar to what y'all are doing in Santa Barbara there. So Venture Asheville, our mission is to build entrepreneurs and get startups funded. And we do that through 3 core initiatives: mentorship, financing, and programming and events. We use for mentorship the MIT model, the VMS, you guys have heard of Venture Mentoring Service. We've had about 100 companies go through it, and it's directly created 180 jobs here in Asheville. They've raised $12 million over the last 5 years and brought in $32 million in local revenue to Asheville. And we're a small town. We're 100,000 people out here in the middle of the Blue Ridge Mountains. So that's our mentorship program. We manage a small angel group called the Asheville Angels. We also have a micro grant competition we run in the spring, raise $25,000 and about $5,000 micro grants. And we also have we do a startup road trip. There's only so much capital here in Asheville. So I'll pack a van full of founders and we'll go across the state or to Atlanta or Nashville and come back. And that's like going to summer camp for me. To get in a van with a bunch of startup founders for 3 days is too much fun. And programming and events wise, we have annual award stuff. We started 1 Million Cups in our community and handed it off to a team of volunteers. we do Asheville Entrepreneurship Week. Tomorrow night, we do something called a pitch party, which is open mic night for entrepreneurs. It's a 1-minute pitch, and it's become kind of the top of the funnel, the front door for a lot of people who are new to the community, who want to sell out. Maybe they have a full-time job, they want to start something, or they're new here, or they're investors or mentors, just want to meet people like them. The pitch party, it's like an after-work beer event, and it always brings out a lot of fun, a lot of people. It's a fun time.
Are you doing this on Zoom or in live? How do you do this party?
We used to do it at a startup. We had a big meeting room. We would go in there. Now it's all on Zoom. Yep.
What's your funniest entrepreneur story?
My funniest entrepreneur story
Yeah,
from
like thing that's happened to you or that you've witnessed in entrepreneurship.
Lately, what comes to mind is I was pitching RTP Capital, a really big, probably one of the most significant angel groups in North Carolina, with JustKibbitz. And in the Q&A, a woman stood up and said, "This is the most misogynistic and abusive and misguided pitch we've ever seen. I cannot believe we even invited you to come pitch to us." And I said, "Really? You think this is more misogynistic than sending dick pics to people unasked for?" And there's like 60 investors in the room. And what happened was the investors started fighting amongst themselves about our pitch. And that was a huge surprise. Never seen anything like that. The president of the group had to call me the next day to apologize for how inappropriate that whole back and forth was. That was a good one. I did pitch once with Dog Friendly. My wife is a veterinarian, and so I had her as the co-founder of my company. And in the Q&A, investors raises their hand and said, "I saw it's a husband-wife team. No thanks. We don't look at those at all." Just immediately didn't even give us a second look, seeing husband-wife on the team slide. Hannah, if I can see if she wants to speak up. She's been a part of a lot of crazy, bizarre things with me as well. Hannah, anything coming to mind for you? Some of the weirder things we've seen?
Hey, Hannah, welcome.
Hey guys, nothing's coming to mind, but Jeff certainly keeps me on my toes every day. Some pitches he goes full Jewish mother and changes his voice, and he really goes all in. But you know, those are the days that he's maybe had multiple cups of coffee and he's really excited. But Jeff certainly brings passion to any of his startups, and after working with him for a couple of years, it's always exciting.
I did have someone tell me feedback after a pitch to be less Jewish next time. Like, don't use so much Yiddish and Hebrew. It's like borderline anti-Semitic, man. It's like, come on. Yeah, this is a very taboo thing. We talk about relationship with your mother. We talk about sex. We talk about dating and religion. So you never know what hot buttons you're gonna hit with somebody.
Covering a lot of bases, but that being said, like I put the little expression of opinions piece out there each meeting it's consideration always.
Mm-hmm.
So we are coming up on the hour. I don't like to keep you guys any longer than that. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. And again, I would like to thank Jeff and Hannah and JustKibbitz for presenting to us today. It's a very interesting business, very unique. We've not seen anything like that. And I've been participating in 1 Million Cups since 2014. And I've seen a lot of weekly business presentations. This is a very unique and creative business. Way to go on that.
Thanks so much.
We always like everyone to share the love, both of our speakers and presenters, as well as our program. So text that out, send it, post it to your social media. We definitely want you to invite people to come and participate and to check out JustKibbitz as well. Next week's speaker is Mathraya Chakravarthy. He just says Mathraya. So, and I hope he forgives me for that. I'm sure that's an awful pronunciation. But Mathraya is going to talk to us. He comes to us from the University of Texas at Dallas, and he's going to talk to us about Sahai Tech LLC. And Sahai is a really philosophical organization. So they're leveraging the advancements in consumer IoT, and I know, Steve, this might be your language, computer vision, artificial intelligence. They're developing wearable products for people with blindness and vision loss that are designed to aid them in orientation and mobility and give them a sense of their surroundings. So it should be an interesting program. I'm interested and I'm excited about that. And the quote of the week this week is, don't get distracted. Never tell yourself that you need to be the biggest brand in the whole world. Start by working on what you need at the present moment and then what you need to do tomorrow. So set yourself manageable targets. And that comes to us by Jazz Bagnuski, another name I probably just killed, co-founder of Eve Sleep. So I thank you all so much, as always, for participating in our program. Without you, this is just me staring at my computer. So thank you very much for giving me a reason to get up on Wednesday morning. Have a great week.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much for meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Tara.
Nice presentation, Jeff. Thank you, Tara.
Yeah, thanks, Tara. Bye-bye. See you, Matt.